guys, and welcome to the Huddersfield vs Sunderland match preview. So Sunderland do go away from home Wednesday night against Huddersfield in what will be a difficult game. It will be a difficult game. Of course, Huddersfield, if you look at it on paper, they're second from bottoms. You would think we should really be looking to beat this team, and I do agree with that, but they have tended to turn the tide a little bit over the last couple of games. They picked up a win against Millwall, which is a very difficult team to go up against. They picked up a draw away from home against Middlesbrough. Again, it's a difficult place to go before that. So maybe they're starting to turn the tide a little bit, and it might not be a nice time to meet them at this current time. But Sunderland, they managed to turn a tide of their own recently. Of course, I couldn't do a review to the game against Luton because, of course, it was my birthday. Thank you all so much for the birthday wishes. It was my 30th birthday, and it was a bit of a heavy weekend, so there was no videos that were going to be made that last weekend just gone. Anyway, but yeah, we managed to turn the tide a little bit after a couple of defeats. Not really nice. You can really knock your motivation or your confidence, should I say, in the lads. And I did say I would happily take a draw against Luton. It's an incredibly difficult place to go. Over the years, it's become an absolute fortress. I use that term a lot in the preview to that game. And we did come away with a 1-1 draw, which is the prediction that I made. So I'm relatively happy with that, you know. And when I look at the highlights, and I've seen sort of extended highlights as well, I don't think we played terribly. Yes, not a fan of the goal we conceded. You're never a fan of that. But I think the defending could have been a lot better. But generally, we competed throughout. We looked dangerous. You know, again, without a striker for large parts, which we keep on talking about. But Sims did come on the pitch, I think, for the last sort of 20 minutes or so. And he could become so useful. Mobley didn't expect him to play maybe a full 90 over the next few games. Probably after the World Cup when we start seeing him starting, you know, and getting the full 90. For me, I wouldn't mind even if we did just see him for 45 minutes, so he gives us some kind of an outlet to stick to, because we don't have that holding man or that target man as such. But for my preferred 11 for this, I'm actually not going to start Sims, which we will get into. But it's good to see him on the grass again. Embleton picking up the goal. You all know, I'm a big fan of Embleton. I do like Embleton. He's kind of splits the fan base a lot. I feel like when he does do well, he gets very little credit, but then when he doesn't do well, he gets a hell of a lot of criticism, and I think that's unfair on Embo, because I think I really do see the value in the lad, not just because, you know, he's a Sunderland lad, but I think he's a very talented boy as well. But yes, so it's a good time to sort of steady the ship. I didn't want it to get to sort of the 3 losses on the bounce. That could really see us start to sink. But we steadied the ship in good fashion as well. Now to play a team like Huddersfield, who again, they've seemed to steady their ship somewhat. They do have their dangers, but the second from bottom, I think they've got 4 wins out of 16, which isn't great. You would like to think we could go there and really test them, with or without a striker. Clark I think he's picked up his ban, hasn't he, for picking up too many yellows. So it's going to be a difficult one, and Mowbray definitely has a real sort of head scratcher at the moment, because there's a lot of youth players, which he's alluded to in his interview, that he thinks, you know, they've been getting 20 minutes here and there, 30 minutes here and there, sometimes a half, and he thinks they're ready now. So the likes of, you know, Burnett, Abdullah Bar, Mishu, who've been coming on, they could all be in contention for a start, because he really shifted that starting 11 for the game against Luton, and they didn't look out of place at all. So yeah, hopefully we can get back to winning ways. Is it a must win, as I've alluded to in the thumbnail? I think it could barely be there, because, you know, yes, it's good that we steadied the ship after a couple of defeats against a team like Luton, but I think now this, again, I know we're only looking at it on paper, but you look at a team like Huddersfield, haven't had a great start to the season whatsoever. They're in the bottom set, the bottom sort of few in the table, aren't they? This should be the kind of game that we'd look to roll them over, hopefully anyway, at least get 3 points on the board, and that could really put the confidence back in the lads that yes, we can compete in this league. Let's crack on from there. So for me, a win is incredibly important for this game. But we're going to go into my preferred 11 anyway, and I'll kind of explain it a little bit as well. So as you can see, I've gone with Pato in goal. We've got Sirkin at left back, bottom right in the middle with O'Nien at right back. Now, as you can see in the middle, the faded out one is Evans. For some reason, the app I use, Evans has disappeared off the face of the earth. No idea. But I'm going to stick with Daniel and Evans in the middle. Now, behind Diallo, this is where I was really struggling, right? I could have easily gone for Sims and thought, you know, maybe give him 45 minutes, give us a target man to stick to for the opening half, maybe, and then bring him off, or maybe give him an hour possibly. But I thought, no, I thought Diallo did really well against Luton. Keep him on the pitch. Embleton scored. I think he deserves his start, so get him in there as well. Pritchard, Roberts as well, and I think that could be enough. And if we are struggling by half time to really create enough chances or really wrestle our way through that Huddersfield backline, who are a very physical bunch, that backline at Huddersfield, stick Sims on and see what we can do from there and try and work the sort of hold-up play against their back line. Then you could get Sims on to hold up the ball, like I say, and bring in players like Pritchard or Roberts or Diallo in around him. Bennett if he is to come on. Mishu if he is. I think Abdullah Bar looked excellent the other night, apparently, against, from what I've heard, should I say, against the Newcastle under-21s. What a game that was. But by the way, from what I've seen, I don't know whether you guys have heard. So the Newcastle under-21s, we played them at St James's. A handful of Sunderland fans sold out of their sort of allocation. We were a goal down. The Newcastle went down to 10 men. And then the 95th minute, Alex Bass, the goalkeeper, rose like a salmon. See what I did there? And nodded in a 95th minute equaliser, which later on he admitted it was handball, which makes it so much surreal. I just find it absolutely frigging hilarious. But yeah, it's been absolutely amazing over the last 24 hours on social media because of that. But anyway, back on topic. This is probably the lineup I will go with. Yes, you might think Embleton's better as an impact player coming off the bench, but when you've scored a goal, I love to see those players start because I feel like, what else can you do? He come on, he was really good, so let him start, see what happens. That would probably be my starting 11, I think. But I wouldn't be surprised if we did see the likes of maybe Abdullah Bar come in, or Mishu, or Bennett even start, because he has alluded to the youngsters in the last interview has Mowbray. So we shall see anyway. But let me know in the comments down below who you would start against Huddersfield tomorrow night. But now to my score prediction. So as I say, I did get last time out's score prediction correct against Luton. I did predict 1-1. This time I am going to go for a victory, and I'm going to go for a 2-0 Sunderland win, and I do think Embleton will score again, as will Pritchard. I think Pritchard will get himself on the score sheet because it's been long overdue, and I think we could see it as well. Two of our little playmakers getting a couple of goals, that'd be fantastic, and I would love to see that, but I'm going to predict it as well, so hopefully that is the case and that is true. Now, I am going to try my best, hopefully, to do a live stream for this game. It'll be the first one in my new flat. Hopefully, with everything coming together, I will be able to do that for you guys. I haven't done one in a while, and I do love doing them. So keep an eye out on the channel, and you might see the live stream getting put up at some point tomorrow during the day, and then you'll be able to see it. And yeah, probably come online or come live maybe about 7:30, possibly. I know that there's some YouTubers that generally cover away days as well. So there might not be too many of you, but either way, we have such a laugh, and that's what we'll do. Hopefully that is the case anyway. But yet again, guys, thank you so much for the support on the channel recently. I know that it's been a bit hit and miss with, of course, moving into the flat, so I didn't upload for a while, and then the internet wasn't here for a while, so I couldn't upload then. It's my birthday. It's been very hit and miss, and I've been picking up so many extra shifts at work, so it has been difficult to upload, but I am hopefully going to get back into a bit of a rhythm in over the next few weeks. But obviously I can't really sort of select as and when I work. I think I get one weekend off in 3, sometimes 4, so I'm missing a lot of games, and then I work during the week. So anyway, it's boring stuff, but just let you know, guys, it's not like I'm leaving YouTube or ignoring you guys. It's just the way it's worked out at the moment. But there we go, guys. Let me know in the comments down below what score you think it's going to be tomorrow night against Huddersfield, and your lineup, of course, as I mentioned earlier. But if you've enjoyed, hit the like button for me. It's always massively appreciated. And subscribe to the channel if you're not already to become a fully fledged member of the Sarny Army. But for now, take care. Stay jammy.